And then you want to measure it, and I forgot my my ruler. My pencil box didn't make it with me today, and that's the first time ever my pencil box hasn't made it. But I have a little ruler. So you just take your ruler and you go from here to here, here to here, here to here, you know, just find out the circumference of the thing. Whatever thing it is, whatever cabochon you're measuring. A soft tape, like a
Sewing
tape, you can run that around and get a measurement. So then it tells you in my notes that you want to have like 4 millimeters longer than what you measure, because you want to have an crossover that you'll cut in between when you're done. If you don't have a measuring tape and you really want to get started on the process, you can do this. You can square it up and then just do these diagonals and then do tape, measure this, measure this, measure this, measure this. Just keep jotting down each of the little measurements and you'll come very close. So that's what I did here, and I'm off by probably an inch. I could have saved an inch of this wire, but this doesn't go bad. I can use it for all kinds of things, for attachments, not prongs, no, for attachments and things like that. As seen in the pieces, I have a little V attachment that my bail hangs on to, stuff like that. I have a little jar of these little remnants that I'll get into. So here's this stone, and I can't measure it, but if I did measure it, I would take a piece of this 16 gauge wire, and it's not real soft, but it's somewhat soft. And I would measure it to what this measured and cut it off with about 4 millimeters longer. And then once you do that, you've cut it off, then take that whole length and just tap it so it's flat and square. So the whole length that you've cut off is square, okay? Now, it's really good to start with a straight wire. Again, it's in the notes. So you want to straighten it out as best you can. And it won't be laying like this one is laying, because this is attached to this, and when it goes around a curve, square wire likes to lay on edge. It is notorious for laying on edge. But this process has to be flat, has to be completely flat. So that's what you're going to do, is get it flat. So you're going to anneal it. You can anneal that piece first of all, and then flatten it out with a hammer. So once you've done that, then you're going to choose a place where you want the seam. So if I'm going to hang my piece this way, or this way, it would determine where I'm going to have my seam. So if I'm going to hang my piece this way, I would probably put my seam here. And I want to choose a little bit of a middle ground straight line where it's straight, not on a curve, because where these meet, I'm going to be sawing where they meet exactly, and I don't want them to be right on that curve right there.
Why wouldn't you do it at the top?
Because you're going to be soldering things to the top. They're going to be seen from the top more than you will from the lower places. Yeah, just for those kind of reasons. If when I design, the first thing you're going to do is design, did I put that in there? Yeah, trace your stone, well that's this, trace your stone, and it tells you how to do it. But the first thing I do is I design what I'm going to do. And that is like, this one is going to be, thank you, this design, like that. The colors are the same, and those pieces, I love them together, and I think they'll be just a charming little necklace. So that's the way this one's going to go, and I've already bent the wires for both of these. So then what this does is tells you how to do the bottom square frame, and then the next page, which is on the back, is soldering on the prongs.
Okay.
So to bend this wire, like I said, you start with a drawing, and you can tape the drawing down to your table or your steel block. And this isn't flat, so it's really going to be hard for me to demonstrate. But the first thing I'm going to do is draw a line. Whoops, draw a line right where that line is, with a little overhang. And what we're doing here is staying to the inside. This is very challenging.
I think there's a cloth tape in the cabinet. If you want to.
There is?
I think so.
Good. I wonder if there's one in my box.